Welcome into Flame Central, your home for all things Liberty Athletics. I'm Matt Warner, and as you can see, Emily Austin has made her highly anticipated return from maternity leave. We are so glad you're back.
Yeah, thanks, Matt. It's so good to be back, and it's so amazing to work with such talented professionals like yourself. You wrote this
Wow,
script.
that was completely unprompted.
Yeah, whatever. There's a lot happening around Flames Nation, so let's get right into it.
Yeah, you can tell I write the intros, right? Yeah, let's start with men's basketball. You know, their first couple seasons in Conference USA, they began league play 0-3 the first year, 2-3 the second year, slow starts they had to come back from. This year, it's been a totally different story. On Sunday, the Flames took down Jacksonville State, moving to 3-0 on the season in CUSA play, but it was far from easy. Caden Matheny had to get ridiculously hot in the first half to keep the Flames in it. The senior guard knocked down 5 triples in the first half alone. He would finish with 22, a team high, but these teams were all tied at 27. In the second half, drama on the sidelines.
Oh, no.
That stole some of the spotlight. Jack State head coach Ray Harper got a technical. Can you believe it? He made his feelings very well known to the officials. There were being multiple technical fouls in the second half of this one. But in terms of the on-court production, it was the Flames pulling away with a 13-2 run to begin the second half. Zach Cleveland had 10 and 10, his 5th double-double of the year. Brett Decker chipped in with 16, and the Flames made 22 of 28 free throws to close it out. Flames win at 78-69, moving to 3-0 in league play. They now hit the road to face Louisiana Tech on Thursday and Sam Houston on Saturday.
Looking back to years past, you know it's a different ballgame on the road in this conference, but Liberty is taking plenty of experience and confidence with them this season. Just 3 games into CUSA play, there are plenty of positives to take away from the Flames' perfect start, and we discussed it on this week's Flame Central podcast presented by Ortho Virginia. What have you seen early from this Flames in these last 2 home games that make you excited?
Well, I mean, listen, these are both teams, both opponents that are good and that are very physical, and they're finding ways to win, being efficient on the offensive end. But for me, like, maybe the biggest key moving forward, or one of them, like Josh Smith has been huge for them.
Off the bench, yeah.
In conference play is averaging 10 points, almost 8 rebounds a game. He's been huge off the bench for them, just giving them another big body. And then the starting 5, they're fantastic. So being able to get that kind of bench production, but yeah, off to a great start. It's been about as good as you could hope for starting it out.
Yep, it's a big week. The Flame Central podcast presented by Ortho Virginia is back to the normal crew. I know Matt and Joe missed me interrupting them the past 3 months, but seriously, check out the entire episode. We cover hoops, football, and get caught up on our time apart. We drop a new episode every Monday, and you can find it where you listen to your favorite podcast or watch it on the Liberty Flames YouTube channel. All right, let's hit the hardwood again, checking in with the Lady Flames on the road at UTEP. Liberty wasted no time jumping out to a big lead in this one, and let's just say never looked back, much because of Avery Mills' hot hand. She drains back-to-back triples to make it 15-2 early. To the second quarter, Claudia Athen from deep. I don't know if it rains in El Paso, but it was raining triples for Liberty on Sunday.
You're back.
Matt, you missed those lines. I know it. Moments later, Mills, another one. She finished with 22 points and a career-high 6 triples, and she's your CUSA Player of the Week because of it. The Lady Flames set a new season high for points, 3-pointers, and assists, securing a convincing victory 86-66. Liberty will host Sam Houston in its home opener on Thursday.
You know, we talk about adversity all the time in sports. Can you overcome it? What can you learn through it? Of course, adversity in a game is nothing compared to the challenges that life can present. For Liberty Swimming and Diving Associate Head Coach Jessica Barnes, a cancer diagnosis blindsided her, but it's what she learned through the battle and who she leaned on that has forever changed her life.
There would be nights where I would cry out to him and ask him, Lord, just take the pain. I just want to sleep. And he was right there. In those moments, I knew Jesus was real. And there was joy in being able to just experience this deep intimacy in the middle of pain.
We swam super well last week. I'm excited to watch you guys race today.
Associate head coach Jessica Barnes has been quietly working behind the scenes of the Liberty Swimming and Diving program for almost 2 decades.
Did 1-9.
But beneath that reserved demeanor, She's always been a tenacious competitor with a strong godly work ethic.
Worship doesn't change our circumstances, but it changes us.
I just loved being able to push myself to the edge and see how hard I could work.
But that would all come to a halt in December of 2023 after one test.
My mom was diagnosed with breast cancer when I was a senior in college, and so I knew that this was something that would be on my radar one day.
Jessica and her doctor believed the time had come to begin breast cancer screenings, but after setting the appointment, she realized she'd made a mistake.
Wait a minute, I have my mom's birth year wrong, and I have it wrong by 10 years.
This slip-up would start screenings about a year and a half early, but Jessica believed it wouldn't be an issue.
I had no concerns. Yeah, I mean, I went into the appointment just, okay, this is a normal screening. They're going to do a mammogram and an ultrasound. And I was praying for the other women who were going to sit in this room and maybe hear the bad news.
After the initial test, the doctor explained that a mass was found and more tests were needed.
I was in shock. It wasn't until I got into my car that it kind of hit me. And I remember just sitting there, just crying in my car. I decided that I need to take some time for myself. And as I was driving, I just remember hearing the words, "Trust me." And I knew that God was speaking in that moment. And then I also heard him say, "Jessica, you're not done sharing Jesus with people." Even if this was going to be cancer, that God was going to be with me in it. And so I tried to keep my focus on this is about what he's going to do through me and what I'm going to be able to share with other people, knowing that he was the one, right, who had me have the mind slip with my mom's birthday. I don't believe that that was a coincidence. I believe that was God orchestrating everything in that moment.
Over the next several months, Jessica would continue to seek God's counsel and update friends and family on the news. She would also endure multiple scans and biopsies. And when the test results were complete, they would confirm the disease.
Stage 1 invasive ductal carcinoma, which means that the cancer had started to spread a little bit into the tissue. How do you tell these 30 women that you have cancer and not have them worry about you, have them continue to do what they need to do?
It was a shock because of how healthy she always has been, but also her perspective on it was always wanting to render all of it back to the Lord and give him glory no matter what the road was going to look like.
Jessica would have surgery to remove the tumor and soon after start chemotherapy, a treatment that she was reluctant to endure.
There was going to be things that I was going to have to surrender to the Lord. And the biggest thing is, yes, the hair loss. And that was scary to me. Every time I would try to wash my hair would just be falling out. When I finally made that decision that, okay, it is time to shave my head, I knew God wanted me to do this, but I really wanted to still have control over part of this journey. I really didn't know what the Lord was going to have in that moment. It just became this moment of worship and an offering to Jesus. I walked in full of fear and worry, but I left finding so much freedom in Christ, knowing that it isn't about what I look like, it's not about my hair, but it was about what the Lord was doing. And it wasn't something that I myself could have ever orchestrated. That was only the Lord's doing.
The cancer treatments continued, but the next wave of side effects crippled her.
It was hard. I had just really intense bone pain that I'd never experienced before. And then the fatigue was something that they told you you're going to be tired, but it's a different level of fatigue. There would be nights where I would just be weeping in bed, just in pain. But in the middle of this deep suffering, Jesus never left my side. And I would cry out to him and ask him, Lord, just take the pain. I just want to sleep. And he was right there. And it didn't always take the pain away, but I could feel the presence of Jesus in that room. In those moments, I knew Jesus was real, and that was the joy. I could picture him sitting on the bed with me, comforting me, and knowing that Jesus is there in the middle of the hardest moments of my life. And there was joy in that, and there was joy in being able to just experience his presence, experience this deep intimacy in the middle of pain.
After 20 rounds of radiation therapy and 4 cycles of chemotherapy, Jessica finally received the news that her cancer was in remission.
It was overwhelming to think I did this.
Finding out that Jessica was cancer-free was just such an answer to so many prayers.
8-8 with a 1-6 tempo.
Even through the journey and even through the hardships, her smile never left her. And it was just as if she had this internal radiant joy of the Lord always just on display.
God is inviting us into a journey with him. And sometimes that journey, there are things that can bring a lot of joy, but there's other times where God is inviting us into some really hard things. And when he invites us into those hard things, if we lean in to what he has, we get to experience a deeper intimacy with him, and we get to deepen our trust with him. Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid, and do not panic before them. For the Lord your God will personally go ahead of you. He will neither fail you nor abandon you. And this verse would be a verse that I would just cling to. This wasn't about the cancer, but it was about deepening my trust and my faith in who he was and who his character is. And what I was reading in scriptures, like Jesus became real to me in a very hard season and walking through the valley with him. And he walked all the way through that valley with me.
Thanks to our John Pratt for producing that incredible piece.
Yeah.
I mean, wow, that video of Jessica getting her head shaved was so powerful. She said early on in this cancer diagnosis and journey that she wanted full control, but it was in that moment she really let go. And it turned into a moment of worship, just beautiful.
It was incredible. And what's also incredible is how she's now able to use that journey that she went through as a ministry. Like she's helping so many other people that may be going through a cancer diagnosis or maybe just going through something really hard in their life. And she is able to pour into them and say like, look, I got through this. Here's how God brought me through this. And that's part of the reason she was willing to share her story with us, is because she wants to use it to help other people, which is really cool.
Yeah, so happy to have her here and healthy on the mountain. Well, following a rough 4-8 season, Liberty football said there would be change, and we saw that on the coaching staff this past week. The Flames welcomed a seasoned veteran on the defensive side of the field, naming Sean Quinn as the new defensive coordinator. Quinn spent the previous 4 seasons just down the road at Virginia Tech. He's coached college football for nearly 3 decades, with stops at LSU, Tennessee, Georgia Southern, Louisiana, and Savannah State. Quinn has had the opportunity to work with NFL standouts like 11-time Pro Bowl tight end Jason Witten and first-rounder defensive end Tyson Jackson. Former Hokies coach Brent Pry said Quinn is a tremendous hire for Coach Chadwell in the Liberty football program. A coach with incredible work ethic, is a tenacious recruiter, and a very experienced defensive play caller. Welcome to the mountain, Coach Quinn.
Yeah, excited to see what Coach Quinn can do here with Liberty football. Excited for what Rhett McGibbon has in store for us today. It's Warm, Hot, and Fuego, top player moment from the past week. The first one of 2026.
That's right. Exciting. You know, I got a little twist in this one for you to start off the new year.
Okay, I'm looking forward to that. Let's start with our warm athlete.
Yeah. I just want to say this. We don't really have a theme today, but I want to point out it's National Tempura Day. Do you like tempura? You know, you like shrimp
the sushi
tempura
and stuff. Yes.
Yeah.
I do love that.
It's like that Japanese
You're
batter.
a big sushi guy.
I do like
I know
the sushi.
you are.
Yes. I'm a
good.
big guy.
Recognize
I like
the tempura.
Sushi.
Yes.
Yes, exactly. All right. Claudia Athene on women's basketball, had that injury earlier in the season, or it was undisclosed. Didn't really come out what it was, but seems to recover from that. Then had a breakout game just recently, 20 points in that, and she put in the work. she realized, okay, there's an opportunity for me to be the point guard, starting point guard on this team. I'm going to hit the gym, do everything I need to do to be prepared, and she has done just that. 20 points in this game, has nailed it down from beyond the arc.
Yeah.
Like 4 of 5 from 3, 7 assists, 3 steals. And she has been, in my mind, a pleasant surprise because I've watched her. I always knew she had the handles, had a little bit of a soft touch under the rim, but I was kind of like, all right, is she going to be able to be the one that's playing like a lot of minutes per game? Wasn't sure, but she has proved me wrong. Totally able to do so.
If Brett Decker is the huge surprise on the men's side, I think she is the big surprise for the women.
100%.
Just how important she has been for them throughout this season.
She's been great. I would love to have seen her play against Duke. Like not saying they would have won, but being able to have your starting point guard in that game would have been a different story.
Yeah, because turnovers were an issue, certainly. All right, from warm, we go to hot.
All right, Caden Matheny. I feel like it's every week now I'm talking about Caden, but 22 points in this last game against Jacksonville State, 5 of 9 from 3. The one thing that impressed me the most was his ability to scorch defenders with that first step.
Yes.
Like he was, and this is Coach McKay scheming things up. He's getting kind of big guys on him because they went small for a little while, and he'd get them and man, boom, pass them at the rim, laying it in. He was a lot of fun to watch, and boy, it feels like he's been here forever. I know he started his career elsewhere, but he has just been so much fun, and this year it feels like this group has that connection that you need, and in a game like that against Jacksonville State where it got a little rough, it was fun to watch. You need that. You need that just chemistry as a team, and these guys have each other's back.
Yeah, he carried them in the first half when things were a little rocky.
Right.
Matheny said, "Get on my back," and he carried them for a while.
sure.
All right, finally, Rhett, it leads up to this in Fuego.
Okay, this week, first time ever, I have Dos and Fuego because both of these, Do you like my Spanish?
Yeah.
Two
I wasn't ready
Fuego
for that.
athletes.
I didn't know you were multilingual.
Yeah, right. I'll throw a little French too.
Yeah.
Avery Mills is my first.
Yes.
All right, Avery Mills, the super sophomore for Liberty, 23.5 points. She was averaging this past week. CUSA Player of the Week. Had 11 three-pointers. She's up there nationally in three-pointers as well. I think 4th in the nation. Against New Mexico State, right? They're trailing a large part of that game. She had 28 points in that game. 21 came after half.
Wow.
And then on the 11-0 run that they had, which put them in front for good, she had 8 of those points.
Damn.
Like, just talk about clutch and when it was needed most. And I was thinking about trying to look through all the different reports from games this year. I didn't have time to do that. But I know for a fact there's been multiple games this year where she's like, okay, we're kind of teetering at the half, like down by 6 or 7. She's a second half girl. Like something switches and she comes in and she just dominates second half. And
So she's 1A?
She is 1A. 1B is the play, and that is the Zach Cleveland dunk. We have to. I was thinking, should I leave it out? It's been talked about. ESPN did their thing with it, but I guess it's worthy of
them?
I know, right? It's worthy of Fuego. What a slam that was. Just coming through. One of the better dunks I've seen in college basketball. I think best dunk I've seen in the time of Liberty.
I can't think of a better one.
Like Smith back in the day used to have some
Andrew
big
Smith,
slams, and that's going back 10 years ago. But man, that one there, just bringing it back. There was traffic in the lane. It was picture perfect.
And it was kind of where we were in the game. It was kind of like that was the exclamation point. That was the deciding this is over, and he did it that way.
Owl down, owl down.
Owl down. That was one of the better dunks we've seen this year. Rhett, appreciate the time as always.
Sure.
Great job. Emily, send it back over to you.
Yeah, these next two former Flames were no strangers to WEF. I know they were awarded in Fuego honors multiple times. Malik Willis of Green Bay and receiver Demario Douglas of New England. Both players put together impressive numbers in the NFL this regular season. Willis has improved so much under center, stepping up in that backup role when the Packers have called on him. In Week 17, Malik was actually the highest-rated quarterback this season. He threw for 422 yards, 3 touchdowns. He also ran for more than 100 yards and 2 scores. In New England, Pop Douglas recorded 31 receptions for 447 yards and 3 touchdowns. And hey, the season is not over for either one just yet. The Packers will face the Bears, while the Patriots will host the Chargers. A little note here, Matt Warner. Malik Willis is a free agent this offseason, a.k.a. he's about to get paid.
Yes, he is going to be a hot commodity. And hey, if you want to go see a story we did on him right before the season, you can always go to our website, libertyflamescentral.com. Check it out. And all the stories that we've produced, they're all right there.
And like I said, not only my first show back, but I'm also back on the Flame Central podcast presented by Ortho Virginia. Be sure to check it out every Monday. For Matt, I'm Emily. We'll see you right back here next week.